Thank you for staying with us. If you've joined us all the way from 7 a.m. West African time on the brand new 2-hour Breakfast Central that we're saying, well done. Keep it going. Well, as we say thank you, let's move on now to our next top story for today. Let's take a look what's happening, particularly from Nigeria. There was panic in Kakura Community in Chikun local government area of Kaduna State on Sunday following the killing of its leader, Isiaku Madaki, who sparked off a reprisal that led to the death of 14 others. Kakura is a predominantly Gbagyi community with a mix of other settlers.
It was gathered that Madaki was installed as the head of the Kakura Community on Saturday, and by Sunday he was murdered by yet-to-be-identified gunmen. The development sparked off an attack on a Fulani settlement in the area where 14 others were feared dead. Now, this is coming on the heels, according to report, it is coming on the heels of series of attacks in Kaduna State, which also included the railway 2 weeks ago, which has left a number of persons dead and some still missing.
Well, joining us to look at the out-of-control security situation in Kaduna is political analyst and human rights lawyer ABDUL MAHMUD. Thank you for being here this morning on Breakfast Central. Insecurity concerns were focused on the rail attacks just a few days ago. And now we also have another attack, this time on Gbagyi community. And not too long ago, the papers have also revealed that there is yet another attack as well. Attacks upon attacks upon attacks. Now, is it right to say that a state of emergency needs to be called, especially in the northern region?
Yes, it's my pleasure to be here. I'm worried as a Nigerian. I'm worried that more particularly as a human rights lawyer who is interested in the human rights of Nigerians and of citizens wherever they find themselves. I've been out of the country for the past two weeks and traveling Europe and some part of the United States. Questions people ask me is, what is going on in your country? And you wake up each day to news of deaths, to news of killings. It's a worrying development. Nigeria has been seized by some ghoulish apparition, if I have to put it that way, that news of deaths and more deaths have become part and parcel of our national life. Yes, like you said, the situation is worrying enough for people to call for state of emergency in Kaduna State. But I also think that if you throw our gaze, our attention across our country, you find news, you hear news of killings, and you see gory pictures, gruesome killings, pictures of gruesome murders across our country that we begin to ask ourselves if it would not be important for us to impose a state of emergency on Nigeria in itself. We saw the bombing of the trains somewhere close to Maiduguri, somewhere close to Kaduna 2 weeks ago. We hear of cases of kidnappings, killings across the south of Nigeria, more particularly Edo State, that has been seized by kidnappers. You hear news of killings across our country that you begin to wonder, where are we headed to? Where are we headed to? What is the president of our country doing? What are the security forces doing? It does appear that our security architecture will come back again to that phrase, that's been overwhelmed by these bandits, these kidnappers, these terrorists. That one will only ask oneself this particular question. If the president decides to impose a state of emergency pursuant to his powers under the constitution of our country in Kaduna State, would he solve the problem? Would he solve the problem? Would you address some of the security concerns of communities in southern Kaduna, for example? See, for over many years now, our state has pursued politics of exclusion, and we have armed, non-state actors, and this is the result. I was looking at the photos that was released by the those who assaulted the train a few weeks ago, and I was shocked by the caliber of military-graded, ammunitions that these people display, RPG, M4 carbine, and you ask yourself, how can non-state actors have access to these high-caliber military-graded assault rifles if our security architecture in our country has not been implicated?
Right. Security architecture in the country, if it hasn't been implicated. I mean, with the reports we heard from the beginning of the year, this year 2022, between the first 2 to 3 weeks, over 400 people have been killed in the northern part of Nigeria. Now, this brings to question security votes. This brings to question deploying security personnel. Now, let's not forget that if you're looking at the military personnel, we have less than 400,000 military personnel to cater to over 20 million Nigerians. At this point, people are looking for solution. We rightly understand that the security situation has been compromised of some sort. But what about other situations or other scenarios that can possibly reduce the rate at which this bandits or terrorists attack the country, especially in the northern part of Nigeria?
Yes, we are dealing with one of the most bankrupt political elites any country can deal with. When we have security situations like we have now, what are usually responses of our political elite, of our governing elite? Erect more fences, over their homes, secure themselves, install closed circuit television and all that, and that's basically the rest. These are the response of our governing elites and all that. In terms of securing the public, the Nigerian public, these people are not interested. What they do, they throw up what my locals in Edo State describe as some magical contraption. You see the IGP, posting pictures on social media space, indicating that he has been on patrol of the Abuja Kaduna highway. You find the chief of defense staff with retinue of his generals, turning up, at the site of the capture or kidnap of Nigerians on that train. We are doing nothing seriously to address our problem. We spent huge amount of dollars a few years ago in getting the Tucano jet. You ask yourself, where is this Tucano jet today? It must be lying somewhere in an hangar, either in Kano, in Abuja. I'm not sure it's been deployed, in any of the theaters of war that we have in our country, whether in the northwest or in the northeast of Nigeria. All of these put together have emboldened the terrorists. We see them taking on state institutions of our country. We see them taking on military, even in their barracks. So you ask yourself, where do the solutions lie? I think we don't have to give up. All we have to do is continue to put pressure on our governing class that you are all interested in 2023. There must be a nation first for us to have elections. The way we are going with an emboldened security. Yesterday on my Twitter line, I drew attention to the fact that the National Grid high power pylon that runs through Korekbene and Calabar was brought down. And we have seen what the terrorists are doing, in Maiduguri, for example. Consistently over time, they are bringing down high power pylons. These are high tension wires that drag electricity from one city to another across our country. And, the National Grid collapsed a few days ago simply because the high tension pylon was sabotaged, in Ikorekbene in Akwa Ibom State. The question we ask ourselves is as well, what national security policy do we have, in securing high pylons that run across our country? And I don't have, let me not raise suspicion here. If Boko Haram terrorists could bring down pylons in Maiduguri, who says that they cannot run riots across our country and be bringing down pylons? So we have We have serious crisis on our hands.
Hmm.
But our political elites are not interested in addressing these crises we have in our hands. All they're interested in is 2023. I continue to ask this question. I'll continue to pose it. You can't have election when there's no nation, when there's no country. You know, the way we have now, we don't have Nigeria as we used to have it. We do not know Nigeria as we used to know it. The terrorists have seized our country.
All right. Finally, Mr. Mahmood, just briefly, I mean, you talked about them being interested in 2023 elections. What's your take on the vice president joining the presidential race?
What do I say? I wish him good luck. He's a Nigerian. He has a right to run for the highest office in our country. But my worry is this: he's been vice president of our country for 8 years. Some of the criticism that some of the issues people raise as criticism against Buhari will also dog his political ambition. Like every other Nigerian, I'm interested in 2023. I hope the best for our country, will come up. But it's become a dog race. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry is interested in presidential office. That shows you how low Buhari's presidency has lowered the bar.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, political analyst and human rights lawyer ABDUL Mahmud. We look forward to have you again here on Breakfast Central.
Thank you. I see you in Nigeria in a few weeks. God bless you.
All right then.